Well, we all knew this day was coming. It was fun for a second. But I think I'm going to make better choices now. I think that I'm not going to even mess with this thing anymore. I don't want to. I feel unsafe in it. It's making me sick messing with it. So I think we're done. We found a lot of bad things. Besides what it was to begin with. So, anywho's, Buggy 2.0 is out. Buggy build is in. And I think what we're going to do is same plan, same goals, just with a much, much better platform. So here's what I did. So the first thing is bought this giant thing. And I'm going to show you what that is. Ooh, and we got a bunch of other parts in for what was going to be that, or parts that were going to go on that, but not anymore. No. So, check these out. Got some 42s, stickies. Got the 42 1350 on 20 Baja Boss X's. Yeah. On some Raceline 20s. Got a fuel cell, switch panel, got a quick shifter. That's going to be cool. Yeah. Got some 2.0 air shocks from Fox. Turning brakes. You know, just a few things here and there. But anyways, we are going to make a buggy, but it is actually going to be a really nice buggy. I'm not going to spend every dime I have, and I also don't have unlimited time to do it. So here was my thought. I contacted everybody. I contacted Busted Knuckle, I contacted Wide Open, I contacted Goat Bill, Jesse Hank, all them people, to try to figure out what we could do to speed this process up and to save me a buttload of work and time. And what we came up with was a do-it-yourself chassis. It doesn't look much right now, but I want to give a huge shout out to Hulse Engineering for sending me their trail chassis. If you don't know what that is, go on his website and check it out, because it's pretty cool. It's not a competition buggy, but it's damn close. But anywho's, working on that thing was making me physically sick. It was already pile of crap. It would take months to get it in even a decent position to even start putting things back into it. So I decided to say, screw it. We found a buttload of bad things in it. Some of the tube work was just completely rotted out of it. That was under the floor that we couldn't see. So no. This was a good price. And he's an awesome guy. He sat there on the phone with me for 3.5 hours. And we talked about what the goals were, what I wanted out of a buggy, and what it was possibly capable of doing, and everything that he was telling me was perfect. Price was perfect. Again, it is a do-it-yourself. I do have to put this thing together. I do have to weld this thing together, so that is a thing. But of course, bending something, notching something, planning something, all that stuff, that would take months and hundreds of hours. And this is just easier. So technically this is a buggy built. It's just not that buggy. So this is going to be freaking awesome. Some of the major changes with this is we can't use the original drivetrain. So the engine that was sitting right here, that's gone. The transmission we can't use. The transfer case we can't use. The exhaust, the radiator, the carburetor, which I didn't want to use anyways. Pretty much the majority of the old Buggy I can't use, nor do I want to use. I want something that is going to be reliable, it's going to be safe, and it's going to be fun. So this is basically step one. So, Buggy build. Hulse Engineering trail chassis build. This is going to be freaking awesome. I'm going to take you guys with me on this little journey. Again, kind of like what I said in the last video, tube chassis buggies isn't necessarily my thing. It's never been my thing, but I want to give it a shot. And I'm sure some of you guys who can buy this kit and do it at your house and do it yourself, you know, want to watch me do it and watch my mistakes, because I'm sure there's going to be some, and not do that. So, yeah, join the adventure. It's going to be fun. It's going to be awesome. We have quite a bit to do. Quite a bit to do. But oh God. Oh God. So this is going to be fun. It's going to take a while, but at least this part being done is going to speed up that process tremendously. He has already set up the suspension, so where I need to put the links on the axles is already going to get taken care of. I have way more stuff on the way from him. I pretty much, when I bought the Chell chassis, I bought everything with it. And that way it just kind of speeds this up. Now, I do want to make a few little tweaks in here and there, and I do want to put a few things that I personally want on it. So, you know, it's not just going to be some cut and dry, read the instructions, put it there, and that's it. So there is going to be a little bit of my swing of things, my different tastes. So that's going to be cool. Gosh, we have to assemble it, paint it, weld it, cut it, all that fun stuff. So it's going to be a major build. But at least this time, instead of just doing updates, I'm going to bring you guys along with the build. So let's get started. Okay, so I did call Richard. I verified that there are, in this kit, there are a few things that possibly are missed. So perfect example is this laser notch right here for this support is there, but it's not in here because this basically has been updated essentially, and probably the laser just missed it. The paint markings, they're not for you or me, and basically the letters at the end of some of these tubes will not match with your instructions because they are revised versions of this. So when you see PFFR1 and you see PFFR1C, you're okay. Obviously, there's not two sets of those, and you can clearly see that they're the correct ones. He said, some of this you might have to just use common sense, and he said, for the most part, you'll know where it goes. Easy peasy, so on to the next step. Try to weld that together. The laser marks on the actual tube are damn near perfect, lined up. And again, I just did this by eye. We'll take an angle finder to it later, and that is almost perfectly lined up to that notch mark. Come on, focus, you bastard. There. So it is perfectly lined up to that mark all the way around. Brought it all the way to that mark. So that should be good. That should be perfect. Or damn close. Okay, so we had to get a little organized. I assumed that the tubes wrapped in the bundles would, the next tube would be in the bundle. It's not. kind of everywhere. So don't do what I did. Just go ahead and take all the tubes out. Go ahead and lay it out just like this. That way it's nice and easy to read, you know, and quickly scan all the part numbers here, all the part numbers there, all the part numbers there, and that way you can just grab and go. It's still kind of a jigsaw puzzle, but it makes it go a lot better. This is not looking right here. There we go. That's looking right. This is a giant jigsaw puzzle. Still having a great time though. So once we get these two guys and our center cross members in, we'll know if shit's straight or not, basically, and also give it some sort of structure, and that way we can set it up on the jack stands and get it all squared away. So, whew, okay, that took 3 people. So here's what you got to do, as far as I'm understanding it, and as far as what I'm going to do with it. So once you get the 2 main frame structures tacked in place, then you get a rear and a front, and at least one of the centers. So I used this first center right here. What I did was I had 3 people, so 1 person on each side, and I pretty much tacked the very top of each of these tubes to the main tube, and that way I knew the distance was correct. And then I tacked the rear tube on, and that way I knew the rear distance was correct. So once we got to the center, we measured out that, and I talked to Richard with Hulse Engineering. He said to basically make this tube and this tube a complete 90 degree. So what we did was took a digital angle finder and then a flat edge, and essentially stuck it up to the tubes just like that, and we measured that and basically got it to perfectly 90 degrees on both sides. So essentially we had to grab this tube and kind of push this tube to get it. I mean, right now it's 0.2 of a degree off. So it's 89.8 of straight up and down, and then it's like 89.6 or something like that. I mean, it's ridiculously close. And we're talking about points here, so I know that width-wise that it's where it needs to be, and now I know that the center support hoop, I guess you would call it, is straight up and down, best I could. The center bar will tell you will verify if everything is too far, too close. So got that in there, got that all tacked in. So pretty much everything has 1, maybe 2 tacks. It is a 3-person job. So now, basically, now that we know that our dimensions is pretty much on point as far as width-wise and straight up and down, the rest of it will go pretty easy. Easy, you. Okay. Gap in that anymore. Now, he said you might have to screw around and, there might be a gap here and there, so I mean, it's not perfect, but we're going to try to make it as good as it can be. Safety squint. Bottom 2. That way she we go to finish weld everything, this thing's gonna move. It's just gonna do it. It's part of it. So when you weld when all it's done, you weld all this, it's gonna shift and move and everything. So getting it perfect, in my opinion, it ain't gonna happen. But getting it good enough, we'll take it. All right, so next thing in the instructions, and that way you can kind of see what I'm looking at. Oh, this is a perfect angle for this camera. I don't even need a tripod anymore. Okay, so, whoops, we need to go that way with it. So we need to add reinforcements. So we'll pick out the reinforcements that I already have set out and basically just weld them on. So I've seen where the safety switch. So basically, as far as I'm understanding it, and I have you guys watch with me. So pretty much that's the subframe assembly. So it should look like that, which looks like that to me. We are good to go. We are good to set this guy and keep going. This is honestly, now I, again, have never built one of these, but this ain't bad. This ain't hard. You know, a retard. I mean, you know, well, not a retard, but I mean, if you can read instructions, by God. And if you have a little bit of common sense and fabrication skills as well, like experience, then you're fine. So, yeah, this is actually going really well.